I'm back in Jakarta on my way to the West Java town of Bandung. And normally I'd get a local train, or I might get a bus or a travel minibus, which would take about 3 to 4 hours, maybe 5 hours if the traffic is bad. But today I'm going to try out one of the fastest trains in the world, and we have it right here in Indonesia, called Whoosh. It's the high-speed rail between Jakarta and Bandung, which tops out at 350 kilometers an hour. It's based on a Chinese design. We're going to go through what it's like to ride on the train, how much it costs, whether it's senior friendly. Let's check it out. At the Jakarta end of this particular high-speed rail, the station is called Halim, and Halim also has an airport. So there's 2 airports in Jakarta. One is in the west of Jakarta, one is in the east, and Halim is the one where the high-speed rail sort of joins up to, more or less. It's about 2 kilometers away. So if you fly into Halim, and you normally would do that on a domestic flight, but there are some international, but you'd normally come here on a domestic, you can then catch a cab across here for a few bucks, and then you're at the station for the high-speed rail. But Halim is also connected by a range of other transport options like buses. There's a little train system which shuttles you back and forth into the centre of town. And of course, you can catch a cab here from anywhere in town, and it doesn't even really cost that much. But first things first, I need to find a ticket. Now, I'm not sure how the tickets work. You can book them online, but when I got onto the website, it's a bit clunky, so I thought I'll just go and buy one when I get there. I can see a sign over here that says ticket machines, which is over here. So I'm assuming that might be the way to go, and I'm assuming there's a counter as well you can buy from as well, like if you don't want to do a ticket machine. So I'm going to check the machine out first and see what it looks like. They're over here. The thing about the schedule here is the train has a capacity of about 600 people, and the train goes twice an hour. So 1,200 people per hour it can transfer in each direction, which is a huge amount of people, which means that even on weekends, quite often the trains aren't full. So you can often just show up and get on the train whenever you want. You don't need to like book weeks in advance like an aeroplane. Up there we've got the jadwal, or the schedule. Basically, you can see up there, 1 o'clock is the next one that we're able to catch. There is one in 2 minutes, but they chop off the sales for tickets about 15 minutes before. So if you're here just a little bit late, you're gonna have to wait for the next one, which is not a big deal for us. That'll be a wait of 25 minutes. I just tried to use one of the machines. They've got 8 machines, and 5 of them are not operational. So we have to line up for a machine. I might actually go and find a ticket office. That might be quicker. It's ridiculous. I don't know, just small things like that in Indonesia, just a little bit of a frustration sometimes, and we have to deal with them. Susan's lining up actually at the ticket machine, so if she can buy them first, that'll be good. I'm not even sure if there is a ticket office around here. Oh, look at that, official merchandise. If you love the trains, they've got a heap of things in there, like hats and shirts and key rings, a souvenir if you're a real train person. All right, customer service, they'll be able to sell me a ticket here. The sales counters are all closed, which is unfortunate, but the guy told me that it doesn't matter, you can still get it from one of these reschedule counters. Yeah.
3 people? 3 tiket ya. Pukul 1 ya?
Yeah.
Ekonomi, bisnis, first class?
Economy 325,000. 2 tickets. 2 tickets.
Berapa menit?
Together, please. Oh yeah, we can pick maybe 11D, 11F. 11. Yeah.
What's your password?
Yeah. You can see here you can pay by Visa, MasterCard. Yeah, so basically they accept credit cards. It looks like you can tap it as well. How you going?
Good, how are ya? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Where are you
YouTube
from?
channel?
Yeah. Where are you from?
Australia.
Are ya?
Yeah.
And what are you doing here?
Yeah, tourist.
Tourist, yeah?
Yeah, you too.
Do you love the train?
I love trains.
I love trains. I'm a crazy train person.
What's your channel?
Sanur Diaries. Thank you, ya. Yeah. Ooh, maaf ya. Nearly got bowled over by a suitcase behind me. We're ready to go. We're on the 1 o'clock train. We've got about 25 minutes to wait. That was all pretty straightforward. I think it's quicker to buy from the window there than the machine, because on the machine, you've got to use one of those touch screens and enter all your details on it, whereas here they've got a computer with a keyboard and they can just, they just do it all for you. It's much easier. So just a word on the classes you can buy. I've read online that basically if you go first class, which costs you about double the price, the seating configuration is 2-1, and you get a bit of food, and there's a little special lounge you can wait in before the train arrives. If you go business, it's 2-2, and it's not really that special, it's just less crowded. And there's like, only one carriage of those, and the same as the first class. It's very small, but the vast majority, like 99% of the train is filled with this, what they call premium economy, which is just actually economy, the basic one. And the configuration of the seats is 2-3. So if you're a couple, you'll always try and get those 2 along the side. If you've got 3 people in your group, you'll go and get the 3 on the side. That's quite similar to what you'll find in Japan as well. They'll often have the trains are a 2-3 type configuration, and then if you want to pay a little bit of extra money, you get a bit more comfort. But it's only a very short trip. Like this trip can be as short as half an hour, I think. Let me have a look. It says up here, if it's a straight through trip, it is half an hour. So the way it works is you go from here to a station called Padalarang, because the station in Bandung is not in the centre of town. So you've got to change somewhere and get on a slow train, but that's all included in the one ticket price. And because everyone does it, it's not complicated. You just get shuttled with everyone else onto this feeder train and it takes you straight into the centre of town. It's sort of like their answer to almost like a metro system. Like in Japan, for example, a lot of the stations might be just a little bit out of the centre of where you're staying, so you'll just catch a metro to the high-speed rail station, and that's what they're doing here as well. If you need snacks before you go, they've got a beard puppers here. That's pretty classic here in Indonesia, the beard puppers there. Those choux pastry with cream inside. I wonder if they've got one of those roti boy or roti or. They are at stations all throughout Indonesia. Can't find one. They've got a little mini market over there, like an Indomaret. So that's handy. So if you need a drink or whatever. And then I can see over there's a Subway and a ramen place with sushi as well. And then Solaria, which is the most common sort of chain restaurant I reckon you've probably got anywhere in Indonesia. You can always rely on getting like a decent nasi goreng there, for example. So look at that. Gojek has a customer lounge there. So if you get here from Bandung and you need to get a Gojek, they'll sort you out. What else we got? Oh, Krispy Kreme. Oh, that's crazy. Look at that thing. Krispy Kreme. Haven't seen one of those for a while. And then there is a Starbucks. Wow. We're getting modern now. And then this place is Kopitiam, which is, Kopitiam is a pretty sort of like a Chinese style coffee shop, really. Oh, look at that thing. Automatic juice machine. They've got the fresh oranges up here. And then for 35,000, you can get a freshly squeezed orange juice. That's cool, isn't it? As you can probably tell, I'm really excited about going on this train today. I didn't realise it, but it looks like there's a second floor with other businesses up there. So, oh, there you go. I knew there'd be a Roti Or here because there always is. Roti Or is a classic train station or even like a bus station thing here in Indonesia. If you're travelling any distance, you can always smell the butter coming out from Roti Or. They've got these little buns with it's just butter and, I don't know, a bit of salt in there or something like that. They are totally like the least nutritious food you could ever imagine, but there's something you always have to get when you're traveling here in Indonesia, and I'm just gonna go and find it myself and go and get one. Oh, Texas chicken. I think that was the one that was called Churches in America, but because they came to Indonesia, this is what I heard, they came to Indonesia, they don't want to call it Churches, so they call it Texas chicken. Whether that's true or not, that's just a story I heard. Oh, this isn't. We've got an Auntie Anne's pretzel joint, got a cold pressed juice place. Oh, there's heaps of places to eat here, heaps of places. You can even get bakso. But I'm looking for the Roti Or first to see if I can get one of those. Where is that thing? So that's the thing, Roti Or. There's actually a competitor called Roti Boy. I don't know what the difference is, but there's some sort of split probably happened at one point. So I'm gonna get a couple, we'll eat those on the train. Hello, can I get 2 of the normal Roti Or?
Yeah, buns.
Yes, that's all.
2 buns.
2 buns.
Yes.
Take away. Terima kasih ya, Oktamia. Bye-bye. See ya. Oktamia is from Java, Central Java. Our train's been called now. Like, you've got this really sort of strong voice in my head. So they've got a little security system here where you've got to scan your luggage like you would at an airport. So we'll go and do that now and get up to the train platform. All right, we'll go through these gates here. Here we go. Insert your ticket. There we go. Wow, pretty cool, eh? Feels like I'm in Japan or something, or in China. Not really China though. So in that waiting area, there was quite a few places to sit down and wait. And then it looks like they've got like a lift over there which says Dilarang Masuk, so you're not allowed to enter it. But I reckon the reason that might be is because if you're requiring like special access because you're in a wheelchair or a mobility, they'll put you in that because that's what it's for, isn't it? Everyone else can get on the escalator. I think that's what it looks like to me. I'm just gonna have a look at the front of this train. Look at it. So I'm already at the train, yeah? This is the back of the train. Look at that thing. Isn't that a beast of a train? I don't know how you can get excited by trains, but I just do. When I see a train like that, maybe it's because we don't have anything that comes close to that in Australia. Well, we've got the XPT, which came out in like 1981 or something like that. But this looks amazing, this does. Looks absolutely amazing. So I'm in carriage 7, this is number 1. Yeah, and that tells you it goes from Halim to Tegaluar. Tegaluar, that's the station in the south of Bandung. We get off one before that because the connections are just easier. You can get off at Tegaluar if your accommodation's in the south of Bandung, but for most people going to the centre of Bandung, better to just get off at Padalarang. Hello. It's actually quite a long train. Hello. Got a lot of guys helping you out, so if you don't know what you're doing, they'll help you. It's actually quite a long train, not as long as the ones that you might see in Japan. Sometimes the ones in Japan are twice this length. But the thing is here, the platforms are ultra long. So if in the future they require to double the capacity, they'll just put a bunch of other carriages on. At the moment, they've got 8. They can put 16 on easily because the platform is just enormous. It just feels a lot like, I don't know, a massive airport. It's just enormous. It doesn't feel like Indonesia. And the good thing about it is, this is a real sign of the direction that Indonesia is heading in. We sometimes get focused on what's happening in Bali, but outside of Bali, there's heaps of stuff going on like this massive infrastructure project. There we go. I've got my carriage here, number 7. Hello. I'm in 11. Okay. Oh, that's nice. That's cool, isn't it? Oh, that's modern. Look at this one. 2-3 configuration. Happier. This is me. Oh, Susan's already here. So a quick tour of the luggage storage situation. Up there you can see obviously that you can put fairly big bags up there just like you can in a plane, but then when you come down here, what's that? Well, there's toilets. They've got these big luggage racks, so if you've got big suitcases, easily put them all in here. Actually, no one's really using them at the moment. A lot of Indonesians, when they're traveling between Bandung and Jakarta, aren't going to be traveling with massive suitcases. They're going to have more compact suitcase, carry-on luggage. So that's probably why that's not filled yet. There's only a tiny gap here between the platform and the train. So I would imagine that if you have, like if you had a wheelchair, it seems that that would be pretty easy to get across there, same as a pram. So let's just do a quick review of the seat, just to get out of the way these technical details. Little tray table, pretty straightforward. A lot of leg room, like huge amounts of leg room. It's like being premium economy on a plane. There is a little socket down there that you can plug into if you need to. There's blinds like that. It's pretty easy. You've got a little coat hook there, and I don't know. It's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot to say about the seat, and of course it reclines. Yeah, and what they'll do, they'll actually move the direction of these seats based on the direction of travel, so you don't have to be traveling backwards all the time. Just looking at this, it appears there's a dining car. So dining car is at number 5, and it says if you want any of the stuff on this menu, just go down to the dining car at car number 5, and cash only is accepted, so make sure you bring a bit of cash with you. But it doesn't seem too out of the ordinary that in terms of prices. Like you can get a cup noodle for 12,000, and you can get like a Pocari Sweat for 20,000. So it's not crazy expensive or anything. They've even got these coffees here, which is cool. Just a small point on this seat. If you're a little bit big boned, this might be a bit narrow for you. For example, my shoulders don't fit the width of the seat. So if you're a little bit big boned, you might choose to go business where you've got a little bit more room, or even first class. So they've got those options for you. Otherwise, if it was a busy train and there were no spare seats and you were crammed in on your own like that, it might not be pleasant. So just keep that in mind. If you think it might be a busy period and there's no spare seats, upgrade to business. Business, by the way, costs about 50% more, first class about double. So we are underway. The 1 o'clock train departing at 12:58. Wow, they are so efficient, they go early. So make sure you're here on time or a little bit earlier, otherwise you might miss it. So as it leaves the station, it goes pretty slow when it's coming out of the station because it's obviously needs to get a bit of pace up, and we're in the sort of crowded area. But this particular train only stops at 3 places, and there are only 4 stations on the entire route, I believe. Karawang, Padalarang and Tegalua. Here we go, get a bit of pace up now. They have a little display up there telling you what the current speed is, and I'm assuming that when we get up to top speed, we'll see over 300 kilometres an hour. An interesting thing to note is this motif here on the seats. That cloud pattern is called a Mega Mendung, yeah? Mega Mendung is a classic motif that you get on batik. And it's nice to have that touch on these seats here, because this is a real sort of geopolitical play when they came to build this train. This is about nation building, about being really proud to be Indonesian, and having that as a real nationalist symbol is just fantastic. It's only taken a couple of minutes, like literally no time at all, and you're already up to 150 kilometres an hour, and it doesn't feel like it. You feel so smooth. You know, it feels like you may be going 60 or 70, but not 150. Time for me to tuck into my roti ore. I'll show you what it is, this roti ore. It's like a bun like that. It's a light and fluffy bun, crispy on the outside, and then a big slathering of margarine or butter on the inside, which makes it salty. So we're really accelerating now. We're up to 220 k's an hour, and I'm assuming that it's going to get to 300 or so soon. I'm going to show you this, see how stable it is. See if I can get this coin to balance. There you go, that coin there is rock solid. It is so smooth. And now we're doing 240 kilometers an hour. You can feel the real pull behind you as it accelerates now, because it's on obviously a long straight stretch. It's all elevated on a bridge the whole way so far, which means that you're way above the rest of the town, and you can see a great view of what's below. There we go. That's my coin test as we pass 260 kilometers an hour. I was a bit curious to see what happens if it rains, because it's a bit of an overcast day today. You know, I would have thought maybe you slow down a little bit, but apparently not. Up to 270, and the rain comes down like that. Doesn't look too rainy, but I can see out there a bit of light rain. Maybe if they get a big downpour, they'll slow it down a little bit. I don't know, I'm just saying. It's funny because we're in a location right now, only 10 minutes into the journey, which if you were in a car on a bad day with traffic, it would be 2 hours to here on a bad day. I've spent 2 hours on this section of road plenty of times coming from the airport. You get stuck in traffic, there's construction, but here it's just rocketing along. Now at 300 kilometers an hour. We're now doing 320 kilometers an hour, which is the speed that you get to on some Japanese trains, only the very fastest ones like the Hayabusa on the French trains. But above that, you don't really go any faster, and yeah, still rock solid, rock solid. This train is actually equal fastest in the world for a commercially operated proper train. There is a maglev one that doesn't have wheels in China, which goes like 400, but it's not the same. This has got actual steel wheels. It's a proper train, 350 kilometers an hour. The only other place they go this fast is in China. And there is an interesting story about how China, whoa, my coin just fell over. There's an interesting story about how China came to build this thing. For years, everyone assumed that Japan would build this railway because they've got the Shinkansen, they've got a safety record, and they'd been doing studies since about 2008. And Japan offered a very low interest rate loan to build this thing, but they wanted some government assurances that if the project failed, the government of Indonesia would pick up the bill. The interesting thing is that the government of Indonesia, although they wanted a high-speed rail, they're a little bit uncomfortable about that. And at the last minute, after it seemed that Japan was going to have the rights to build this rail, China came in and said, oh, we'll do it, and we'll do it under a different model. We'll do a business-to-business model, and we'll make businesses fund it. So all the Chinese banks got behind it, bankrolled it, and took on a lot of the risk so that the Indonesian government didn't need to take on that risk. That was one of the big reasons why it was chosen. So the Chinese brought in all their technology, agreed to technology transfers, and even when it was being built, when I lived in Bandung, it was being built quite close to where I lived. I went past a few times, and at some of those sections, there were Chinese people managing the Indonesian workers, and they couldn't speak English, and they had only broken Indonesian, but they were just making sure that the thing was built to the Chinese standard. Now, is that good or not? I think it's good. I think it's good because China now has the world's most extensive high-speed rail network. It's just incredible. And we are now travelling at 350 kilometres an hour. And I've got to say that it does feel quite fast. Compared to Japan, it feels faster than Japan. Let's get that coin going again. Is that going to work? Yeah, it's pretty stable. Oh, no, it's not. Maybe I'm being a bit unfair. It is quite stable. And that, yeah, like it's a very comfortable ride, but you do feel like you're going fast, honestly. You feel like you're going very fast. Getting back to that story about the Chinese and how they built it, there were some cost overruns, massive ones, and it required the Indonesian state to tip in cash to keep the project going. And it wasn't really what was expected at the start, and all of those risks that were trying to be mitigated by going through the Chinese option in the end came to fruition, and they had to come out and pay for a lot of things out of their own pocket anyway, the Indonesian government. But it doesn't matter now that it's built. It's just a fantastic piece of infrastructure, and there are plans in the future to extend it beyond Bandung and across Java, because Java is such a densely populated island with over 150 million people that it really makes sense to have a high-speed rail like this. The problem is, though, that the terrain in parts is just diabolical. For example, going to Bandung is quite difficult because it is extremely mountainous. Bandung sits at about 600 to 800 metres above sea level. It's surrounded by volcanoes. It's in a big valley. It's prone to floods. It's just crazy. Oh, the weather's closing in now. It's getting pretty dark. So yeah, it's a pretty amazing feat of engineering to actually get this thing built in the first place. And anything coming out of Bandung is going to have massive tunnels, because there are huge mountains surrounding Bandung going towards the east that make it a fantastic journey to do on a train if you're on the slow train, because you wind through the mountains and, you know, the steep rice fields. But if you're on a fast train and you need to go straight, it's going to be expensive. Okay, let's see if I can check out this dining car and get back before the train stops, because it is going so fast and the trip is so short that I've got to get down there before it gets to the destination. Okay, coming into the dining car area, what have we got? A little seating area, nice. Little dining car, hello. What's your name?
Yeah.
Nazwa. Huh? Nazwa.
Yeah.
Can I get a, what do we got? Point coffee.
Okay, you can get it.
Latte. Es latte.
Do you have any cash for
I have 100,000 rupiah.
That's very good. Do you want palm sugar latte or
Palm sugar.
Palm sugar.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's kopi aren.
Yes. Your Indonesian is good.
Thank you very much. Kopi aren. The flavour of that is like a really deep caramel flavour. You've got to do it as palm sugar.
Yeah. It's 35.
35,000.
Do you need something else?
I do not need something else, but if I did, that looks nice. You get a banana. How much are the bananas?
It's 7.
7. Oh, that's pretty cheap. 7,000 for a banana. Yeah, it's good value. How many? Do you go back and forth every day?
Yeah.
How many times?
It's 6 times a day.
6 times there, 6 times back.
No, it's 6.
3
times.
Yeah, 3 Pepe. Makasih ya.
Yes.
So where do you live? Where do you live? Bandung?
Bandung.
Bandung.
Bandung,
Oh,
right
kumaha damang.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I lived in Bandung for 12 years, but now
12 years.
but now I live in Bali.
Bali.
Yeah. Dulu di dekat Ciroyom.
Ciroyom.
Pasarnya, tahu ya? Pasar Ciroyom. Ya, jadi mau balik lagi setelah 2 tahun di Bali, mau cek suasana di sana. Ya, cek ombak. Ya, oke, makasih ya. Oke, ya. In there's some sort of crew room, and I can see how many kilowatts it's currently drawing. It's currently drawing 11,500 kilowatts, so that's 11.5 megawatts of power. So in your house, if you boil the kettle, which is really strong, it's 2 kilowatts, and this is taking 11,500. Wow, that's incredible. Some cool views in there as well. I'm not sure I'm supposed to film in there, so I won't. Might check out the toilet situation as well if I can find one of those and show you that. As you can see, the train's actually quite empty. Like this, half the seats are full. So it's, and I bought it straight on the spot. So I think that might be the case most of the time, unless it's a particularly peak day, like maybe a public holiday or something. All right, here's the toilets. There we go. Wow, nice. Look at these things. What I like about it, these latches and everything, they're really good quality. Like they're not what I've got in my house. So they're obviously a high quality latches and finishings here, which I really love. I really love that. Decent toilet. This is the economy toilet. Love it. Point Coffee, which is the brand of this, is the house brand of Indonesia. So the rail operator has partnered, oh, that's a nice view. The rail operator has partnered with Indonesia to sell the coffee on board. And it's quite nice. It's a really creamy coffee as well. I don't know how they do it, what they put in there, probably some thickener of some sort. Okay, we're at Padalarang. So there's a feeder train there. And the story with that is that we need to get on that to get into the centre of Bandung, which is where we're going today. And most passengers getting off at Padalarang are going to be doing the same thing. So you just follow the crowds, get on that feeder train, which is included in your ticket on the high-speed rail, which today only cost me $325,000. I think it's a pretty good deal. Okay, we're in the feeder line sort of route at the moment. We've got through some barriers and this sort of shuttles you straight through to that feeder train. There's something about that trip between Halim and Padalarang which is just truly incredible, how fast it is. It's only 30 minutes and it goes by in a flash. And when you're used to doing that trip in many hours, it's just quite odd that it can be so fast. And it's such a credit to the Indonesian government and the Indonesian people that they've actually had this system implemented because it's just so fantastic. So after about a 5-minute wait, we're on the feeder train. Feeder trains like that, all green inside, big luggage racks. If it gets really full, you can obviously stand up. But it's not that big a journey anyway from here into the centre of town. We only waited about 5 minutes for that train to arrive. We have a toilet on here. It's really quite spacious on this particular train. I reckon if that other train that we're on was full, this could get quite crowded on here. But you know, at the moment, it's quite nice. Apparently this leg of the journey is 19 minutes, so it's slightly shorter than the journey from Jakarta to Padalarang. 19 minutes, that's okay. When you add up all the times of having to transit and that sort of stuff, it's still far, far quicker than if you had caught a bus or driven or even the old train. Even though the old train takes you from the centre of Jakarta into the centre of Bandung, even with all of that, this is still a lot faster. Just a point about that old train, the old train trip is such a beautiful journey that I could imagine going one way on the fast train and then one way on the slow train just to enjoy the slow train, because the scenery on that old train, it's an old Dutch railway, winds through all the mountains and it's just glorious. Glorious trip. It takes about 4 hours, gets you from the centre of Bandung into the centre of Jakarta. It's worth a trip on its own just for the enjoyment of riding on the train. And if you wanted to go the other way from Bandung and go east towards Bali, well, that's easy to do as well. There's trains that go right across the island to the other side of Java, and then that's really close to Bali by that time. This is Bandung Station, or Stasiun Bandung. And while I was on that train, I was thinking to myself, how easy or hard would this be for someone who can't speak English? And actually, a lot of the people on these trains can speak a little bit of English, and there are signs in English and announcements in English all the way. And it makes it quite easy for the casual visitor to actually ride this train and have an enjoyable experience without having to freak out that you don't speak the language. I think this train journey is absolutely fantastic. It's only taken like under 1 hour door to door here. And it's something that Indonesia can be really proud of because it's world-class infrastructure, done really well, it's maintained really well. It feels just brilliant. And sometimes when we hear the negativity around somewhere like Bali or Indonesia, we forget that there are things like this in operation that are just absolutely sensational. Coming to a place like Bandung can feel a little bit overwhelming for the first timer, because when you get here, it's a little bit chaotic. You may not know where you are. Everything's just a little bit different. And I think that if you can find a good hotel that you can treat as a sanctuary and then you do little trips out from there, it makes all the difference. Now, I'll be spending a little bit of time in Bandung this time while I'm here, and I'll also be traveling to other parts of West Java, and I'll be making a few videos along the way. So make sure you check back in to see my journey as we cruise around. Thanks for coming along for the ride with me today between Jakarta and Bandung. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sonora and the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time, and sampai jumpa.